This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk through this 2021 Mesa Ridge model 2410RL. Okay, so this is not a floor plan video. It's not a sales video. It's just a basic how-to video. So let me just start right here. This is the quick connect for your LP system. So if you want to plug a grill in, it has to be a low pressure grill. Now you can't use just a regular grill, but any low pressure appliance in there, you plug it right in there and it connects to the LP system. Of course, you got regular scissor type jacks, one on each corner. And those will crank down with the crank, or a 3/4 inch socket on a drill will do the same thing, much faster. You have a small AC refrigerator out here, so there's no switch on this. It's hardwired in the sense that it's, well, there's no switch anyway. So as soon as you plug in the trailer to shore power, it will turn on that refrigerator. Now, while we're looking at this, this hole right here, let me back up so you can see where I'm at. Okay, so basically you can crank the slide room from on the other side from here. I'll see if I can get a picture of it for you, what I'm looking for here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a shaft with a pin through it. Right, so you're gonna take your crank or a drill or whatever you're gonna use, and you can actually crank the slide out on the other side in and out manually if you happen to have an emergency. So this one here can be cranked from the other side if you have to, okay? Okay, so also this is the vent for the range hood. So if you're gonna vent to the outside, see there's a baffle in here. So you want it flapping freely if you're venting. Otherwise you snap it shut so it doesn't flop around when you're traveling, or bugs can't build a nest in there when you're in storage or that sort of thing, okay? Power awning with an LED strip. This is just the service panel for your refrigerator. You don't really have to go in there unless you're servicing it. You have a signal out and power for a television out here. Of course, that's the vent for the furnace. Your steps fold in and out of the trailer, obviously, but you could adjust the length of the legs by pulling this pin. There's one on each side. So you just pull that pin, and you can slide the legs up and down and adjust them accordingly. Okay. This is just telling us that you can get a Furrion solar battery charger panel, and if you got one, it would plug right in there, and just for charging your battery. Okay. Now this is your hitch. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control, so it's a good one. We'll show you how that operates when you pick up your trailer. Of course, this is your crank right here for your stabilizers, and this is your hose for your spray port, and there's a nozzle for it, of course. I'll show you where to plug that in when we get to it. So you have a power tongue jack on this, which is a great thing to have when you have a weight distribution switch or hitch with built-in sway. So it's a good thing to have. Keep in mind that if it happens to fail, you can pull this plug and use the same crank, or a 3/4 inch socket on a drill, and you can actually crank this up and down so you can get hitched and unhitched if something bad would happen. Okay. You have two LP tanks. I believe they're 30-pounders. Yes. They're full right now. You have a deep cycle marine battery right there. Okay, let me just look a little farther here. Okay, so coming around this side, the other side of your pass-through, so this is your dump hose, and then this is a reducer for your short cord to reduce it down to, so you can plug it in at home if you wanted to get it packed and ready to go. Of course, your tanks here, there's your dump valves. The gray tank the gray valve is for the gray tank, which is sink and shower water. The black is for the black tank, which is toilet water and waste. So you always dump the black first, and then you dump the gray. That way it'll, the gray water is not as dirty as the black water, so it'll flush it out. And after you do that, you can come back here to the docking station for your water. It's got to be cleaned a little bit. And right here, this is a black tank flush. So it says right here, always leave the valve open, the dump valve open before you turn it on. So you'd open the valve and then you put the hose on here, turn it on, and it sprays out the inside of your black tank. Cleans off the sensors, just gets it cleaned out, okay? This is your city water hookup, which is the most common way to get water to the trailer. Now if you look, all right, there's a drawing right here. When the lever is a vertical, it's city water, right, which is the most common way, like I said. But if you need to fill your tank, you would turn it horizontally right here, and instead of using city water, it'll actually direct the water into your fresh water tank. You'll fill it up and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. That sprayer I showed you attaches right there, and this is your 30 amp 30-foot power shore cord. It has a blue LED to let you know you're getting power up to this point, which makes it easier to diagnose issues. Okay. All right, so you have a ladder, which is a good thing because you don't have to lug a ladder out to get up on the roof and inspect it. The manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 90 days or have someone else do it. So someone needs to go up there and look around at all the seals and the sealant and the lap sealant, that sort of thing, and make sure there's no cracking or separation anywhere that could allow water to get in. So you want to inspect that. Plus you look at the roofing material, the vent covers, to make sure a low branch or something didn't damage it. But the idea is, 9 times out of 10 when you go up there, you're not going to have to do anything. You're just going to look it over and it's going to be fine. But when you do see an issue, and most likely someday you will, you get it taken care of immediately, okay? That's important. Also, this is telling us that we're pre-wired for a backup camera, that housing right there. So if you want a backup camera, that's an option. Okay, let's go inside. Okay. So right when we get in the door, you have the control panel. Let me shut this door so the sun doesn't hit us here. Okay. So these are obviously lights here. To light your water heater on gas, you do it this way. To light it on or turn on the electric, you just turn it on there. It's an electric heating element. Keep in mind that, let me walk back over there. I forgot to talk to you about that. Let's go back out. Alright, so those are the switches to operate it. Always make sure there's water in the water heater tank before you ever turn it on, or you could damage it. Okay. This is the actual water heater. The tank is directly behind it. To drain it, you drain it right there with this, taking that plug out. So, like when and there's also bypass valves on the back of this. So inside the trailer, there'll be there's always a way to access the back of the water heater. It'll be a panel, or you have to remove a drawer or something like that. We'll look when we get inside there. But before you winterize your trailer, obviously you have to bypass it because you can't get antifreeze into the system or into the tank because it'll leave a really foul taste. So you always drain it right there. Okay. That used to be considered an Atwood water heater, but a company named Dometic bought Atwood. So it's kind of a bit of each one, I guess you would say. The best of each one. Okay, so your awning extend, for example, right there, you can see it. Never leave it out unattended. If you're not going to be the campsite, roll it in. Check your levels here. Your battery's charged. Fresh water has got water in it. We're still testing it. Black is empty. Gray is empty. So it graduates up in 1/3 increments. Once you get past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping the gray and black tanks. Okay. This has I believe this one has an app for it. I guess that's what this is. So you would scan that box there, and it should take you right to the app. Although I can tell you I'm not 100% on that, if you can or not, but it's easy enough to find out. Okay, so The refrigerator is a gas absorption refrigerator. It works on either 110 AC or on LP gas. It's very, very simple. On. And right now this A with a plug is automatic electric. That's the mode you almost always want to be in, right? Electric and auto. So why they call it that is if it can't find electricity, it'll automatically switch over to gas, right? If you're gone for the day and there's a power outage at the campground, for example, it'll sense that and it'll automatically switch over to gas so you don't spoil your food. Now you can change it to dedicated mode. There's just electricity, just gas, or auto electric, which is the most common way to use it, okay? The temperature should be up all the way unless it starts to frost up, then you're going to back it down, but during the summer you're always going to have it up all the way. And then when you shut it off, you got to hold the button just for a second. There you go. Okay. This is your range hood that I told you about. I showed you the vent on the outside that you want to open the baffle, remember, so it'll vent to the outside. Light. Microwave works like any other microwave. Your range has a glass top. Now always make sure the glass top is closed when you're traveling. This is the sparker. You turn it clockwise to spark. Alright, so I'm not sure if the gas is on, but I believe it is. Maybe not. Yeah, so it shut it off. I guess we can go turn that on and I'll show you how it lights. But anyway, you're going to turn the sparker clockwise to spark it. Back outside. See if I can get this open without pulling the thing off. It's probably pretty tight, yes. Okay. So you do have 30 pounders. There, we turn them on here. It's an automatic changeover regulator, so usually you should just turn them both on. That's what most people do. Because the gas was shut off, there's going to be a lot of air in the line, so it takes a minute the gas to work its way to the burners. I'll turn 2 on. There's a couple minutes here. There's 1, there's 2, so okay. Now the oven is a little different. It has a pilot light. The pilot light is on the bottom all the way to the back. Let me see if you can see the spark. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But what you're going to do is you go to the far right knob, which is the oven knob, go to the picture of the pilot light, and then depress it. Keep it depressed during the whole lighting procedure. Then you're going to spark this by turning this one clockwise till the pilot light down there lights. After it lights, you still hold this in for another 10 seconds or so, then you go to operating temperature. But when you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light, so you got to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay. Let's see. This device down here, these 2 devices down here, but this device down here is the power converter. This converts AC to DC power. Okay? So you have AC power on this side, and they're regular circuit breakers like you'd see at home, and they're all labeled, right? Then it's converted to 12 volt DC over here. So you got 12 volt fuses, and they're labeled. These 240s are the master fuses. So if you ever have a wild power surge or lightning strike or something, and the 12 volt side goes out, always look here, because that's where the problem's going to be. It's just doing what it's supposed to do, okay? And like I said, all these are labeled here. They'll actually light up if they blow, so you'll be able to see it. And also, very importantly, this is a battery tender. So when you're plugged in, it's going to sense how much energy your battery has and needs, and it'll just keep it charged. Let's say if it's low, it'll send 10 amps up there, for example. If it's charged, it'll just trickle a couple up there to keep it totally charged. So it's smart in that sense. This is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. Okay, you can see it's green there. I hope it. So this will go off if it detects carbon monoxide or LP gas. If that happens, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off, and figure out what's going on. If it beeps very slowly, it's telling you your battery's low. So let me set it off so you can go through the tests. That was LP gas, good. Here comes carbon monoxide. And here comes low battery. Okay. If it's not green, if the LED is not green, get it serviced. Okay, let's see. Obviously, this is I think a lumbar deal, or oh, I guess this is open and close for the footrest. Okay, so and then it has a little charger for your phone right there also. Okay, there should be a, I don't know if I should, well, let's leave that. I see that this he's got the shade down. I'll have to find out what anyway, he's working on it. We still got a while till you get here, so I'm not sure what that's about at this moment. Now this dinette, if you pull the pole out, you can drop the tabletop down onto these cleats here. All right, and you can use the back cushions and turn it into a bed if you need to. This is your sound out. Now there's a remote control for this and the TV, so I'm not sure where he's got them right now, but they're in here. So this is a radio. It also can stream Bluetooth from your phone or tablet. You can use a USB stick right here. It has 2 speaker zones. One is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. You can go straight into the system with this HDMI. This is an in. So if you wanted to use a Blu-ray player or one of those video machines to keep kids busy on a rainy weekend or something, you could set it right here, plug it in, and go right into the system that way, and it goes through to the television. Okay. TV works like any other TV. It's got a bracket with a magnet to hold it into place. Okay. This is your thermostat. It's very simple. You hit the mode button once to light it up, then you just scroll through, I guess, whatever the word is. That's back to off. So you can go through furnace, then you go to fan. Fan is nothing more than the air conditioner running without the compressor. After that, you have cool, which is the actual air conditioner. Try to always run it, if it gives you an option, run the fan always on auto, if it allows you to, okay? That's always the best way to go with it. Alright. Sorry about my camera work, as usual. Sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. Like so. Very simple. Now the toilet is an RV toilet. It has a black tank directly below. So there's the flush pedal there. So you step on the flush pedal, the black tank is right down there. Right? So the number one rule is you never use this with a dry black tank. You have to have chemical and water in it before you start using the toilet. Otherwise, the smell will waft up and it'll be terrible. So you always have to have water in it. So what you do, you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water, then you come in here with a dose of toilet chemical, whichever brand you use. You step on the pedal, water's going to start swirling around because it's hooked up to water at this point. You'll dump the chemical right in there, and then you'll stand on this for a little bit until you put about a gallon of water in the tank. There's no way to tell exactly what that is. The thing is, it doesn't have to be exact, but you have to have water and chemical in there when you start using it. If you're going to stay at the campground for another week and you had to dump the black tank, for example, then you would repeat the same procedure after you dump the tank. Okay. Your bed comes up and there's some storage under there. Let's see. This is your escape window. It just goes like this. You push it all the way through, and then you grab a hold of this tab and pull the screen out, and you can exit that way in an extreme emergency. So this is your TV hookup in here. There's a backer plate for a TV mount right there. You got power, and then you have signal. This red means your signal booster is on. It's got a digital antenna. If you shut it off like this, you won't get a good picture. So you always got to remember this should be on when you're using the antenna. Okay. All this is telling us, if you can see that far, there's a panel there, like a switch plate sort of panel, and it has a yellow sticker on it. That's just telling you that this is pre-wired for a Wi-Fi booster for public Wi-Fi. So if you're interested, there's a website on there that you can go to. You can talk to our people up front, whatever. But the thing is, it has you always get the one that, there's different models, always get the one that has the antenna on the roof, because that's important. So it would consist of antenna on the roof where there's another panel up there, pre-wired, and then you would have a router that sits right there, and so you would go from there. But it really helps you with public Wi-Fi, know, it's notoriously weak and crowded and buggy and all that stuff. So, okay. All right, so I think that covers everything. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit, and I want to also remind you about what I said about inspecting the roof. You have to do that every 90 days as a trailer owner. That's not this trailer. It's every trailer ever made. They're all the same in that sense. So it's got to be inspected. And of course, don't forget to winterize before it freezes. Okay? Thank you very much.